Good evening, ladies and gents from EU, and good morning for our NA viewers. We're into veto phase of this 4th edition of the Alpha X Arena. We will have our first game. It's gonna be Suno Kazuri versus Droptimus, and already a little bit of a misunderstanding, I see, but it's okay. And it's a ZVT. I think it's the first time we actually have a ZVT in the arena, so I'm pretty excited as always. And we're ready to start soon, I think. We're almost done with the veto phase. And the other game will be J Skippy versus Prime Time. So another great game. We changed the format this time a little bit. We will have our former champion Kuku straight into the finals, and the other players will try to reach to that point. Well, okay, so we're done with the veto phase. We're gonna wait Suno to pick the first map, then it's gonna be loser's pick for every other game. It's gonna be a best of 3 in case this is the first time you tune in to watch this tournament. Short one, fast one, fun one, especially, at least for me. I hope you're gonna have fun too, watching these really good players try to reach to these finals and get their prize as champions. So, what's the first map gonna be? Automaton Year Zero, Port and King's Cove will be the vetoed maps, so our players will not play there. That leaves us with New Repugnancy, Kairos Junction, and Cyber Forest. Three really short maps. So it's pretty important in a ZVT, since there are so many rushes like Ravager Lings, Zolin, and 2B Zolins by the Terran. Something that is really popular on Cyber Forest lately is that tanks and... oh, it's gonna be Cyber Forest! Well, I mean my homeworks. Just gonna check. Yeah, okay, it's alright. It was a little bit quiet. I thought music was on, but it wasn't. So, I think we're actually ready to get into game 1. It's gonna be exciting. And ladies and gents, we're officially starting the 4th edition of this Alpha X Arena. Oh, who knows what this is going to bring us. I'm really excited for macro gaming ZVT, since most ZVT are macro games, but Suno Kazuri actually has some really funny strats that I think she's gonna show us. We'll see, we'll see. Two really good players, two really solid players. I was lucky enough to play against both of them and lost miserably to both of them, but I think this is gonna be a great game overall. And here we are, actually starting with the first game of the series, first game of the tournament. And here on Cyber Forest, in the top left corner, we have our teal Zerg player. She is Suno Kazuri. In the bottom right corner, playing for Alpha X, we have our red Terran player. He is Droptimus. So, nothing too big over here. Both players are going for a really standard opening. No buildings in the middle of the map, just some scouting. Really nothing to worry about. Hatch first for Suno Kazuri. And barracks in his base for Droptimus. Going for a Reaper and probably trying to get some scouting with the first SCV. Timing on the spawning pool is important, and especially important is to see the saturation on gas. Here, nothing too cheeky going on, I think. Orbital Commander and Reaper. Everything is really standard in this opening. Something I actually did expect for the first game of the series. Most players, when they didn't play a lot against each other, tend to prefer to get a really standard opening, to get really their macro straight, and get into the second game of the series with a little bit more knowledge about the style of their opponents. So another barrack going on for Droptimus, a bit of a hidden one actually. Tech Lab, not here, it's a reactor, sorry, a reactor. So this is probably gonna be a 2 medivac drop in Suno Kazuri's base. Here the Reaper actually getting some job done. Ooh, almost saved, but not quick enough. 2 drones actually go down for Suno Kazuri. The Reaper tax has been paid, and it's just gonna get away without a single problem. And he actually tries to get in once again, but the Queen just gonna shoo it away. He's gonna scout the third base by Suno Kazuri, while at the same time here Suno has a really clever overlord to actually scout for the upcoming medivac that is 100% gonna come actually. Steam pack is on the way, still no starport, but it's gonna get ready soon I think. Droptimus is even foregoing his economy a little bit to try and get as many marines as possible, as fast as possible, to support this drop. That it could be a lethal one, since Suno Kazuri is mainly going for economy. A lot of queens could be the right answer, getting those kills on the medivacs. It's important that here the reactor on the factory and the starport has been started, so it's 100% gonna be a drop. 6 drones for Suno Kazuri here. Still not a Binley nest in sight. I think she's gonna drop it around 4:30 when she will have the saturation on this base. More Zerglings on the way. So she got a little bit of a scout here. I think she saw all of those marines. Let's check. Yeah. She's focusing a little bit more on Zerglings and Queens right now. Still no Binley nest, still no Evo Chamber, still no there. It's actually pretty much an economic start. A little bit of a supply block over here could cost her a lot actually. 2 Engineering Bay here to support this drop. The 2 Medivacs are gonna be out soon, and this drop will hit as soon as Stimpack finishes. So it could really be deadly, but 26 Zerglings in production for Suno Kazuri. That has a timing straight up, placed already where she thinks the drop is gonna be. In this really long mid base in Cyber Forest. You can see this area is really big and really good for drops. But actually, he tries to get as many queens as possible. Already 3 queens die, 4, and probably 5 and 6. All the queens Suno Kazuri had are going to fall. Another queen is gonna get sniped. The Lins get in, but the Marines find a sweet spot where they can actually get even more kills. Most of the Marines died, but Droptimus gets away with a lot of queens to kill. And this is gonna cripple the production of Suno Kazuri, that already has a healthy amount of drones to support their economy, but there's not enough lava, I think. Probably the good decision here is to go for a 4th base or even a Macrach to actually try and get as many lava as possible in this meantime, where she's not gonna have enough lava since she has no queens. More barracks, so this is gonna be a full bio play for Droptimus, that is even getting combat shields, +1 armor and +1 weapons. Music intensifies while those 2 players prepare for the next fight that is surely gonna be a really important one. So Suno is trying to get a little bit of a scout over here. She sees there is no 3rd base for Droptimus, not here and not here. +1/+1 is gonna finish, and another drop is coming. And Suno Kazuri doesn't see that really closely, I think. So level Zerglings, Binley Nest on the way, Lair on the way, +1/+1, melee is on the way, melee and Carapace of course. And, well, this drop is probably gonna do some damage. Well, actually the Lair in the main base is a little bit of a gamble, you know? But those Zerglings are just gonna dive onto those Marines and actually get slain. And the Marines just gonna get away. This is probably not gonna be a 1-2 punch for Droptimus. Suno Kazuri is well prepared for another drop. Hydralisk then on the way. Centrifugal hooks are starting as well. Good saturation. Not yet a 4th base, but it's probably gonna get ready soon. Those 6 drones are probably gonna go into those 2 extractors, while she has complete sight of those 2 Medivacs just casually flying all over her creep. Amazing creep spread, to be fair, for Suno Kazuri, that is getting a 4th and is probably gonna get denied. A little bit of clearing of all those creep tumors is gonna, well, cripple a little bit of Suno Kazuri's map vision and mobility. Still no fast Banes, but a lot of Zerglings are just gonna shoo away those Medivacs. And now Droptimus has to prepare for a bigger and stronger fight, since the economy of Suno Kazuri is really getting to a turning point where she can just get Zerglings, Banelings and Hydras as fast as she wants. She's well prepared for a drop over here, she's well prepared with upgrades, and actually I don't see Groove Spines going on in the Hydra Den, and not Muscular Augments as well. And this could be a problem, since Widow Mines get hard countered by Groove Spines. But we'll see. A lot of Zerglings and a good spread over here, since her crit spread is really amazing. She has a lot of vision. Overseers are on the way as well, and she tries to get a little bit of a flank, but the Zerglings are not gonna get a lot. But this flank is really good, and probably all of Droptimus' army is just gonna get cleared all those Hydras are just focusing the Widowmines and the Medivacs, while all the Zerglings and Banes roll over through the Bio army of Droptimus. Even trade as far as I'm concerned, but really good placement for Suno Kazuris, as well as really good splits by Droptimus. Droptimus' army is not really good, but I just need the Zerglings, since they're just a support unit. They do not have any upgrades, and Suno Kazuri is just gonna lose this base while she transfers air drones, and she's gonna lose most of them, and tries to get as many Zerglings, Hydras and Banes as possible to actually deflect this push. Hive on the way to try and actually get back on track on this game. I think she's probably gonna go into Brood Lords if she manages to deflect this big and nasty push. More and more Marines and Mines and Marauders are just gonna get rallied all over the map, while Droptimus gets a lot of worker kills. 25 workers died in this push, and so many Zerglings died to those 2 Widowmines, and Suno Kazuri is just gonna tap out. Really well done by Droptimus, that with that 1-2 punch really cripples Suno Kazuri's economy and larva production. A really good game to start our series. Really well done by both players. I mean, I'm actually excited to see what the next map is gonna be, since both the remaining maps are short maps. So it's gonna be Suno Kazuri's pick, and she instantly decides to go for Kairos Junction. Probably the second shortest map that we have in our ladder pool. And we're going into game 2 of this series on Kairos Junction. Once again, Suno Kazuris and Droptimus are going to show us how it's done. Really good game, the first one, with a pretty decisive 1-2 punch by Droptimus. He really had his idea straight on what to do in this matchup, and we'll see if the players actually shuffle the build orders a little bit to show us something different this time. And here in the top left corner of Kairos Junction we have our Teal Zerg. She is Suno Kazuri. In the bottom right corner, playing for Alpha X, we have our Red Terran. His name is Droptimus. So once again, it seems it's gonna be a pretty standard opening. Or maybe not. I see a barracks being dropped really close to Suno Kazuri's main base, and another SCV is actually going through the map after building the supply depot, while Suno actually goes for a standard macro hatch first. And those two drones are probably going to be an extractor and a spawning pool, as you can see by the rally points. And I think this is going to be a 2 barracks Reaper play. Well, actually not Reaper play. I don't see any gas being taken. Another supply depot. This is going to be bunkers and marines, I think. A pretty deadly proxy barrack for the Zerg, since at a certain point probably Droptimus will go back into macro, but it can still deal a lot of damage, game ending damage for Suno Kazuri. We will see how she will react to this kind of pressure, since she's actually really good at reacting to proxies, rushes and these kind of early pressure builds. So I think Droptimus is actually going to move out as soon as those 2 marines finishes. she is gonna try to get those bunkers over here before the creep spread gets too prohibitive. And the 4 Zerglings and 2 Queens really stunned since there is no scouting, and this drone that was going to hide, thinking there was going to be a Reaper soon, is actually gonna get killed by those 3 Marines, and Tsuno Kazuri is actually trying to get more and more links while link speed is on the way, and those Marines are actually gonna wreck cows over here. Zerglings try to get some damage, the drones have been pulled, and is this enough? Yeah, the drones get all of the attention by the Marines while the links actually get the SCV. Oh, this SCV, oh, this bunker is just gonna finish so close. But the drones have been pulled to destroy the bunkers while Droptimus tried to get the Queen. Really good reaction by Tsuno Kazuri that actually is a little bit lower on the side of workers, but she really has outdone herself in delaying this kind of push. Spine Corer is gonna get here rooted, and this is probably gonna be the end of this proxy, since I see no way actually Droptimus can push into the Spine Crawler with all those links in production. 2 factories on the way for Droptimus, still no natural base, sorry. Okay, it's on the way. The command center is on the way, the reactor is on the way for his factory, and he's probably gonna try to get some aliens straight to the while what an amazing surround by Tsuno Kazuri that gets a lot of Marines killed with that kind of push. So I think the alien is gonna be ready as soon as the Zerglings actually get into Droptimus Natural. But is it gonna be enough? So Platypods have not a lot of HPs, and here 2 aliens are on the way while the SCVs have been called to repair the supply depots. Good call by Droptimus, and I don't think Tsuno Kazuri will get through this. She's gonna go back into macro, while Droptimus actually scouts. There's not a lot of drones in both those bases. Droptimus loses a little bit of mining time, a little bit of resources, but the aliens get out and kill a good amount of Zerglings. Nicely done by Droptimus overall, that gets into this mech play with Cyclones and aliens ready to wreck hours onto Tsuno Kazuri. But really good hold by Tsuno Kazuri with the juices around on those Marines. Really well done. I don't think I would have actually been that clever about the drone pool, the focus on the SCVs in delaying those bunkers, and actually the income, well, I think it's gonna be real close, yeah, because of mules it's gonna be really close, but still Tsuno Kazuri has a little bit more of income. She needs more lava, so she needs to get another base, while this barracks is just gonna burn to death over here. Lair on the way. She has seen the aliens, so she probably is gonna feel a little bit of this mech play, since losing a barracks is often good enough for a turn player to just go into a mech play. So an overload has died for Tsuno, I don't know where, but I think it was scouting over here, and that's the main reason why she went for a lap. More overloads on the way, and Blue Flame on the way, actually, for Droptimus after finishing the upgrade for the Cyclones. Still not full base for Tsuno Kazuri, but a Spire is on the way. So Mutas can be a good answer to this in a good amount, since both tanks and Hellions can shoot up. Just that, to be honest. But I think that actually Droptimus is getting his third command center on the way, while Tsuno Kazuri is still on 2 bases. And another time he tries to scout with this barracks, but I don't know if he's gonna see actually the spy. The rally point is good, but I don't know if he actually is gonna be. Yeah, the queens have been pulled to get his barracks, and I don't know, we'll see. By the way, in the meantime, no Vikings for Joptimus, that is actually getting more and more factories and no Vikings in his army. So this spy could actually be deadly. Sunakazuri has a really good bank over here, and he's probably gonna spend it all on Mutalisk. I really like this decision making by a tier 3 player. I think that Joptimus is actually gonna scout the Spire, but I don't know if it's gonna be soon enough. Ooh, the aliens get through and they're gonna get some worker kills, but actually good reaction by Sunakazuri that forces the aliens to go around their base and gets all the aliens, just losing some SCVs by actually Joptimus, some Zerglings, but actually Joptimus has scouted the Spire by Sunakazuri and is instantly getting tools and a starport. Engineering Bay all the way to allow these aliens to turn into Hellbats. Widow Mines as well, really good reaction to Mutas, but those Mutaflock are actually gonna get a lot of damage done unless these Widow Mines, ooh, close one, close call by Sunakazuri that gets the tank on the high ground, 4 SCVs and try to get away from the Cyclone. Widow Mines are gonna drop, and those tolls are actually gonna be the end of this Mutalisk unless she gets away. Third base on the way, and she's back into melee play. Foes are not really good against melee Zerglings. She actually wanted to deal a little bit of damage, but those 2 armories are actually just gonna get her away from Joptimus' base. Roach Warren has been dropped as well, so maybe a Ravager Lynx is gonna be the answer from Sunakazuri to this kind of push. This is a scary army to deal with, as much as I'm concerned. Really good one. Upgrades are on point as well for Joptimus. That still has, I think, let me check. Oh, never mind. Yeah, +2 on the way for Joptimus. With decision to move out in this way with this flock of mutas actually getting ready. This base is just gonna go down. This alliance is trying to get some worker kills, gets free, basically free SCV kills and gets away. But the whole rest of the army is gonna come. Hellbats have been, well, aliens have been turned into Hellbats, and tanks are gonna siege. There's no way Sunakazuri can actually move into this army. Really good composition by Joptimus that has reacted in the best way possible to that failed push. Actually, mutas are trying to get into those siege tanks, but foes are really good placed. At the same time, Sunakazuri is getting in a third base while mutas and some Zerglings are trying to get some damage done on the other side of the map. A third command center is on the way for Joptimus as well. He's really low on workers compared to her opponent, but mutas are doing the trick. Yeah, actually Sunakazuri is wanting to move out with overseers to get those mines, queens to support her army, but mutas are just gonna do nothing against the Thors, and I guess them moving out is not a good decision over here. More and more roaches on the way. No barrow down though, so they're just gonna die. So these are kind of armies, a little bit of a gamble for Sunakazuri, since, well, it's really hard, let's be honest, it's really hard to deal with this early strong mech army. But roaches and mutalisks are a really weak decision in this kind of scenario. Well, roaches are actually a really good decision, of course, since roaches can basically deal with everything Joptimus have, especially Ravagers. But I think the mutas at this point in the game are just gonna be a dead weight. And in fact, just a single one remains for Suno Kazuri, while she's actually going into Hydra lists that are clearly the better decision. 4th base on the way, and this game is not over yet. It's far from over actually, since Suno Kazuri is getting to a healthy army mount. Roaches are getting sturdier and sturdier, and it's gonna be really hard with those aliens to get some good damage on them. And 8 Ravagers have been moved right now to get those mines, those stores, and those tents as well. The moment those aliens actually go into Hellbat mode, they're just an immobile type of unit, and Biles are actually going to be really good in this scenario. A good army by Suno Kazuri that really has a good economy, good injects, good upgrades. +3/+3 by Droptimus is actually really scary, and Vikings on the way as well. There's some spore crawlers to actually defend from an eventual Viking drop. Viking. What? Grounded Vikings. That's what I wanted to say. 2 long games. This has actually been a really fun game, started in a really good way. While Suno actually is in a good position over here to deal with this. Those army are gonna collide in this point. A good placement by Suno Kazuri that actually has the Ravager close to the tanks, and those bites are not gonna connect though. And these upgrades are really kicking in right now for Droptimus. But the army of Suno Kazuri actually gets some really good damage done. Problem was that the tanks could have just survived all those bites even if they hit, since there's so much damage done onto those Ravagers, those Agilis, and those Roaches. Actually, once again, good positioning by Suno Kazuri, but Droptimus simply has more stuff and better upgrades, and the Roaches are just gonna die one after the other. Supply drop pummels, and she's forced to call the GG. Overall, a really close game. Even if the last fight didn't look close, this was a really close game. Well done by both players. An amazing hold by Suno Kazuri in during the proxy barrack. Well, we're just gonna get into the other semifinals. It's gonna be Jade Skippy versus Primetime. I'm just waiting for the players to come and start this second semifinal. It's gonna be a CVP, if I remember correctly. As soon as they're ready, we're gonna get straight into Veto phase, while Droptimus is waiting for the winner to face him in the first final before the grand finals against Kukum, who's our champion, and he's gonna go straight into the finals. Well, I don't know how much time they want me to wait. I guess we're just gonna get a small break while we wait for our players to get ready. And well, see you soon. We'll be live in, I think, 5 minutes again, showing those good plays by our Alpha X players, and hoping to have a really good semi-final and a really good finals as well. Okay, so we're finally ready to get into the second semi-final. We're just getting our players ready. Skip is here, just waiting for prime time. He's gonna be here soon. Just really quickly. I can't find him. I don't know why. Okay, we're finally here. I'm sorry for making you wait. And we're straight into pick and ban phase. We have two Master 2 players, actually. Really good players as well. I played against both. 4.8k Zerg and another Zerg over here. It's 4.6k. So EO0 is gonna be off for now. And what maps is Primetime going to ban? EO0, Automaton and Saber Forest are out of the pool for this series, and Kairos is gonna be the last veto. And Skippy just banned for ZVT instead of CVC, but I think it's gonna be pretty much the same. Short maps are gonna get out of the question over here. So Skippy. First map is on our Agar Seed player, and second map is Loser's Peak. Port Alexander is gonna be our first map of this series. Really nice to see some ZVZ action. Really fun matchup to watch, to be fair. Lots of Daily Links explosion and crazy strategies, crazy aggressive strategies as well. And we're ready to start our first game of this second semi-final. Skippy was trying to pull out his secret Terran, but he's been busted. So we're starting game 1. Pretty excited to see a ZVZ for the first time in this series. And here we are in our first map of it, the second semi-final. We have in the top left corner our green Zerg. His name is Primetime. Instead spawning in the bottom right corner of Port Alexander, going for a 15-14 build, it's J Skippy, a red Zerg. So this is gonna be a hatch first with a drone more, and it's gonna go for a slightly sooner lava production to allow for a big link flood to get into Primetime's base, since it's gonna get both gas and spawning pool a little bit later to get his economy a little bit faster. This is a pretty much a deadly build, since it was really popular once ago. Yeah, like I think a year ago or something, it was really popular. Then Zergs actually started to reacting properly to these kind of situations with the Wall of Queens in this ramp. But right now this is getting slightly more deadly to deal with, since it was such a gamble build that people actually stopped doing that and started doing the 12 pool expand as a safer way to deal damage and actually macro behind it. Skippy here instead is going for a big flood of links over here. He's just gonna make links non-stop, hide them, and then just get them straight into Primetime's base while he's gonna be a little bit on the slower side since he's waiting for his gas to start. Link speed is just started, but J-Skippy's one is almost halfway done. He's hiding lanes, as I told you, and he's probably gonna get a Rush Warren as well, or a Spine-Crawler, or even a third base. There's actually a possibility as well to fake a third base, since this is not at all a macro opening. Primetime goes for the scouting links over here to see for a third and eventually deny it, while Skippy actually wants to send these 4 links out of all the flock of links he has to make it look like a normal build, since no Warlord has actually scouted the quick spread over here, so no wolves in the main, just +1 melee. It's actually a great answer to this. Link speed has finished, and probably Skippy is just going to go through the map and deal as much damage as possible. A lot of links actually are going through the map, and I don't think he could stop it. +1 melee is a long way. 12 links here, but just a lot of damage is going to be dealt to Primetime in this situation. His Binley Nest is not on the way right now. Here his Zerglings get a good spot to fight. Queens actually deal a lot of damage, and the army of Primetime is actually dealing pretty good with the army of J-Skippy that's actually sending more and more links through. Binley Nest just finished, but no Banelings are being morphed right now. J-Skippy has a lot of stuff going on right now. He's just gonna ignore the Queens and just gonna go for the Zerglings and the drones, while more Zerglings are actually being made by Primetime. Banelings Nest is really scary in this situation. Some Banelings are being morphed right now, but they're in plain sight, and Skippy can just kill them while they're morphing. A queen has died, another queen is trying to do another queen, make another queen, but this queen is gonna die as well. While over here, actually Primetime has a lot of links to answer to this, and actually this time Primetime has a small army lead to oppose to J-Skippy's flood. Some Banes as well. Skippy is sending more and more links, but this +1 is gonna kick soon, and it's gonna be the end of J-Skippy, since he has actually no way to deal with those Banes and the Zerglings as well. The supply by Primetime is really good. More workers, more army, and is in a really winning spot right now. Skippy can try to just avoid the Banelings and get some good fights, but +1 melee is a really big deal. Here comes the full wall almost full wall of course. While Primetime actually wants to get inside and deal as much damage as he can. It actually is a complete wall-off, but the first Evo Chamber gets killed. The Spine-Crawler has been focused, as well as the Queen. Another Queen gets down, another Spine-Crawler gets killed, while at the same time Skip is trying to go for a base trade over here, but the amount of Zerglings Primetime has is just too much for Skippy, that is not making a Spine-Crawler. Yeah, he's making a Spine-Crawler, but it's not gonna be enough. He's just gonna lose all of his buildings before Skippy can do anything, and the GG well played has been called. Really good reaction by Primetime that shuts down the 15-14 build by J-Skippy. Really well done. So for the second map, once again, it's gonna be J-Skippy's pick. User's pick as always. Exciting ZVZ on Port Alexander, a map that allows for a lot of good strategies, a lot of really aggressive strategies. But we'll see what's gonna be the second map. New Repugnancy, once again, the straight copy of Blue Shift. And immediately starting our game 2 of the semifinals, Skippy is lagging behind 1-0 after a really good hold by Primetime with the +1 melee build, a really powerful build, and a good hold with those queens in those choke points that got a lot of value from the army of Primetime. So once again, we're into game 2 with Primetime leading. And this time we're on New Repugnancy. And in the bottom left corner of this map, going for a 14-13 build, we have Primetime. What an aggressive series we have. In the top right corner, spawning as the red Zerg, we have J Skippy, who's instead going for a standard build for a 17 hatch, 18 extractor, 17 pool probably, while at the same time in the other side of the map, this super early spawning pool, super early gas production, and probably a super early Banelin nest as well. Really hard to defend against this, even if you actually scout it. Yeah, actually it's not gonna go for an hatch first, it's gonna be for a spawning pool first and hatch second, but the timing will be really close. It's just gonna get a faster links and a little bit of a slower link speed. It's gonna kick in a little bit later, and this can actually be a problem unless you go for roaches, for early roaches, but you have to defend this kind of push. And still no Banelin nest for Primetime. That could be really game ending, since slow links get destroyed by Banelins, even if they have no centrifugal hooks. Here it is, the Banelin nest has been dropped, while Primetime is trying to hide his Zerglings, and he's doing a good job at it, to be fair. But he's gonna see those? No, he's not. Well, he's gonna see that there is no natural base for Primetime, so he actually knows, yeah, now he knows even better, that a lot of links are going straight for its base. This could look like 12 pool expand for the amount of links, but there is no expansion in its natural. So J Skippy at this point knows this is gonna be a 14-13, sorry, all in, since unless you deal game ending damage, it just gets you so behind. But those links are actually not gonna get the hatchery really closely. Banelins have been morphed and the Roach Warren is on the way. As I said, this is actually the perfect answer to what his opponent is doing. A good surround on the queen is gonna get it killed, and here Banelin nest almost gets a lot of kills, and he actually gets 5 Zerglings. What a hit by Primetime that can now kill all those drones pretty much freely, as well as this hatchery. Now he's gonna try for a surround all those drones, and actually a good split by Skippy saves most of his drones. Only 2 have died. Another queen has emerged over here, and actually Skippy is a little bit behind on workers, but he has a really safe position to hold on over here. But a lot of Zerglings come from Primetime, and this build has actually done what he wanted it to do. A lot of damage. This roach alone won't be enough. 2 roaches can deal with all those Zerglings, while 11 drones have died for J Skippy, with the good manners on his opponent. Congratulations to Primetime from me as well for a really good execution, both in the hold of last game, both in this deadly all-in. So we have our first final before we get into the grand finals against our former champion. So Droptimus. Well, me and Skippy had basically the same reaction. So we're gonna get into our first final. It's gonna be Jay Skippy versus Droptimus, another ZVT, my personal favorite matchup, to be fair. So I'm really excited to see those two winners face each other. So we have a little bit of a history between those two players. So we're going into Veto phase. This one is gonna be on Droptimus, second on Primetime, and so on. Droptimus is actually going to pick the first map as well. This arcade shot actually getting me a little bit confused. So while we wait for our players to actually veto the maps, I just want to point out that both those players actually won 2-0 the series against evenly matched players. So I actually don't know what to expect from this series. Droptimus just told me that they had a little bit of practice history, and Primetime actually wins almost every game against him. So Automaton and Kairos are out of the pool for this series. And a little bit of mind games are probably going on right now between players that played a lot of games versus each other. King's Cove out as well. A really good map in ZVT for the third player, since there is not a lot of space in the main base and the natural. And Port Alexander is out as well. A pretty even map in ZVT, I think. Some good engagement spots for Terran and some good engagement spots for Zerg as well. So Droptimus, what's gonna be our first map? Tier 0 looks like a bad name for a map, to be fair. Year 0 is gonna be our first map of this series. And I think we're almost ready to start. I'm eager to see what those two players will show us. I think Droptimus will try to get those nasty proxies we saw in the previous ZVT, since it was a really good strategy that Sunokazuri actually defended really well. But I think that Primetime showed us he has some aces up his sleeves as well. A little bit of a fight about colors. So we would have a green versus red here. ZVT on Year Zero, really good map to see this matchup actually. And music actually gets really tense really quickly while those players are actually starting to get their feet wet into this big map that is Year Zero, in which in the top left corner is spawning our green Terran. His name is Droptimus. Instead, in the top right corner we have our red Zerg. After Droptimus has stolen his green, we'll see if he was gonna steal the first map of the series. His name is Primetime. So Droptimus really quickly with his supply depot, barracks and refinery, going for probably for a Reaper play to try and get a little bit of a scout, a little bit of damage done. As I said before, in the first series, even if there is a little bit of history, unless we're talking about super cheesy players, which those two players are not, we're actually gonna see a pretty standard opening from both sides, as we see actually a Reaper opening from Droptimus, small scout, while just 17 hatch, 18 extractor, 17 pool is on the way for Primetime. Actually could have been 16 hatch, since I see no 16th drone on the minerals. Yeah, it's probably what has happened, but it's really a small difference. It's about just not getting 19th drone and stuff like that. I mean, it's no big deal, to be fair. A little bit of faster links, the faster queen as well to deal with the Reaper, especially on this big map. It can actually deny all of the scouting for the Reaper, but I don't think we're gonna see anything too strange while this SCV just strolls around Primetime's base checking for something hidden, as well as Primetime Overlord trying to scout what Droptimus is on about. And I think we're gonna see actually the same build we saw in the first game versus Suno Kazuri. This is gonna be Marines in Medivacs and a drop into Primetime's base. So Year Zero is not an exceptionally good map for drops, but still a lot of free airspace and Amon over here that we cannot see because I lowered my graphical settings. So we're probably gonna see a starport here coming out soon. Maybe another reactor from the factory first, then a starport, and just a lot of Marines going on the way. Tech lab here to get steam pack done as quickly as possible. But Primetime over here is gonna see the tech lab, is gonna see the reactor and the marine production going on. So this is gonna be a lot of Marines in his base, and he knows. So we will see what his answer is gonna be. For now, just Queens, Link Speed and the third base going on over here. Another order that's been sent into his opponent base, and he's actually gonna see the reactor built next to the factory. Well, it actually stopped. He probably just already knows. When you have experience, you actually know pretty quickly what is going on. This Reaper is not getting a kill, really good reaction times by Primetime that denies. Well, actually Walker has died, I think. But well, yeah, one has died, we can see over here, but it's not a big deal, you know. The Reaper is actually for scouting purposes, not too much, but saving it's a good thing, but nothing game changing, as I said. So Primetime is actually gonna see when the drop is gonna come. He's going for a lair and 2 Evo Chambers to get those +1 melee, +1 carapace probably. Still not being in as well. Yeah, he just started, to be fair. And Hydra then is probably gonna be the first thing that's gonna start after the lair is finished. good timing on the injects, and in this moment the Medivacs are coming out of the starport of Droptimus. 20 links, the Bending Nest is gonna finish really soon. Still no hydrogen, but the Bending Nest will probably be enough to deflect this type of push by Droptimus that dealt a lot of damage to Tsunokazuri, and we will see if it's gonna deal a lot of damage to Primetime as well. These overloads over here allow him to have vision in this side of the map, and for this reason probably Droptimus is trying to set a drop from here to there to deny this third base and kill as many queens as possible. Those queens are quite in the open. They could get easily killed by 16 Steam Marines. He's gonna try to get at least a Medivac, and good Cryptsped is gonna scout this, but all the Cryptumers get destroyed, and a lot of links actually get onto those Marines that steam away while the queens actually were focusing the Medivacs. And Banelings have been moved here, a good reaction by Primetime that actually denies almost every single damage that could have been done. Some Zerglings have died, some tumors have been killed, but it's really not enough. Really good reaction here, taking a Spire instead of a Hydrodent to react quickly to this bio play. He's gonna probably be Widow Mines or tanks as well as a bio army for Droptimus. Things are pretty even right now. Primetime has a lot of workers, has an exceptional income, but Mills actually make up for this difference over here. Those Medivacs are trying to find a sweet spot to get some damage done, but they are just gonna withdraw while Primetime gets his economy even stronger. His injects are always on point, and his upgrades as well. Spire almost done. Well, actually Spire takes about 72 years to make, but you can see how slow this thing is. Look at it. Well, enough with the ranting. Just back into Droptimus base to see his +1/+1 bio finish, and at the same time +1 air for Primetime that calls Mutalisks, and in fact those Mutalisks are actually gonna get out of those hatcheries. A fourth hatchery is on the way for Primetime, but he's actually focusing a bit more on his army composition right now. Upgrades are really good, a lot of Zerglings on the way, and he actually knows there is, I think he knows, to be fair, there is, all Mutalisks are actually trying to deal some damage, and he's gonna scout over here, while at the same time Droptimus wants to deal some damage on the other side of the map, and a little bit of a F2 move, I think, by Primetime. That is actually a good idea to try and deny this drop by Droptimus that can deal a lot of damage if left unchecked. A lot of mutas, 8 more mutas alongside the 5 he made before. Are trying to get some damage done. Still no turrets, because I don't think he well, probably wants to defend from those mutas with just Marines, and no turrets. Even though he sees a small amount of mutas, he decides not to overreact the wrong decision. In this well, he actually overreacts right now, making 3 turrets right now. He actually doesn't overreact, of course, but it's a healthy amount of Mutalisks that can deal a lot of damage. 3 more Mutalisks on the way, and they're gonna probably move out as soon as the +1 air finishes. While +2/+2 is on the way. Still no infestation pit, I think. Let's just check. Yeah, no infestation pit, so no hive tech is gonna get up soon. But those mutas actually get scouted by the sensor tower just built by Droptimus. A lot of Mutalisks trying to find a sweet spot to hit, while at the same time Primetime has a lot of map control with those links spread all over the map, scouting for Droptimus's base and moving out and out with this exceptional creep spread. I think that actually Droptimus has left his opponent a little bit too unchecked. He is on amazing economy, 75 workers. I'm sure he is gonna have a pretty healthy income. Really good upgrades on Zerglings and Mutas. But, well, we'll see what is gonna happen. Those Mutas get into position and they're actually gonna hit on the supply depots while they get away from those Marines, just to get a little bit of a scout on Droptimus's army. Prime time is almost maxed out. Sorry. And, well, I think he's gonna try to move out with a lot of Zerglings, a lot of Banelings, Infestation Pit on the way with the option to max out on bootloads as soon as the hive finishes. And it's probably the only thing Primetime is actually waiting for is to get his hive on the way, +3 weapon and +3 armor as well on the way, while +2 air is almost finished for Primetime. And actually Primetime moves out a little bit to deny a little bit of creep that is actually on his doorstep, but a lot of Banelings are gonna hit straight into this bio army. Middle is focusing the tanks, and what an engagement by Primetime. Droptimus just calls the GG. Really well done by Primetime. That gets game 1 of this series. What a game. 2 maxed out armies, but those Banelings hit. Wow, what a lot of damage. You can see the graph over here. And Paul Alexander is gonna be our second map of this series. We'll see if Droptimus can get this game, get the draw. Oh boy, it's a ban. Yeah, I didn't remember, sorry. Rep or Cyber Forest. Oh, it's the same. Who cares? While we wait for Droptimus to decide on the second map of the series, just wow, Primetime really has showed a really good army positioning, creep spread, economy, reaction to the drops. Really well done by a Zerg player. Well done by Droptimus as well to try to get a little bit of pressure on his opponent. And Cyber Forest is gonna be our second map. Ready check for our players to get into game 2. Oh, I don't think Primetime wants to play Tyrant. I think he probably wants to change his raid. And we're ready to get into game 2 of this series. Really eager to see what's gonna happen on a little bit of a show them up at Cyber Forest. Once again, as the green Terran we have in the top left corner of Cyber Forest, rocking the Alpha X portrait. He is Droptimus. Instead, in the bottom right corner of Cyber Forest, we have a red Zerg. Probably going for a standard opening. He is Prime Time. Well, probably the one who doesn't want to do something standard is our green Terran, sending 2 SCVs out on the map to get a little bit of a proxy over here, and who knows what's gonna happen. Droptimus is trying to play pretty much the same series he played versus Suno Kazuri, with a first macro game with the drops and then a proxy 2 barracks on the second series. It's gonna be Marines and bunkers, probably a little bit harder to do on this map since the archery is really close to the ramp. So actually making those bunkers into the base, it's a bit harder. A short map means that probably units are gonna get into the base of Prime Time faster. But I don't know. I think the creep is gonna be a problem for this kind of builds. He's gonna move out as soon as he has the 3 Marines ready. And well, he's getting actually 2 refineries, so we could even see some proxy factory or Reaper play as well. Or he's just gonna try to scare Prime Time a little bit and macro behind it, getting the factory, getting those aliens out, Blue Flame and stuff like that. More and more Marines are going out. 3 Marines are out in this moment, and he's gonna try to make those bunkers, while Prime Time actually tries to hide his drone to make up for the possible Reaper. And the bunkers are, the first one is being dropped, the second one is being dropped. Marines are trying to get uncontested this archery, since 4 links are not enough. 2 queens are almost going out, and the spine crawler as well, while this drone is just hiding over here, not getting the archery. So focus on the queen and a little bit of a quick spread over here to ensure he can root his spine crawler. And the first bunker is done, and the second bunker is done as well. Those 2 SCVs are just gonna hide while the Marines actually shred this archery. No way Prime Time can actually defend this with the amount of units he has. He's trying to focus on the SCVs, but all of it, these links just die. The queens are dying as well. More links are on the way. Now the focus is on the spine core. More links are going in. These Marines are getting out of the first bunker, salvage to get those resources back. The spine core goes down, 5 Marines against the queen, and I think this is probably GG. What an incredible reaction. Now with all those links and the focus with the blue links, it's actually not GG. The archery goes down, but all of Droptimus's Marines as well. Second archery dropped right now. A little bit of a scout with his 2 barracks, while Prime Time actually knows there's a factory on the way for Droptimus. He doesn't know there's a second one though. 2 aliens are on the way, and he probably wants to get it finished as soon as he can. While Prime Time links actually get a little bit into the map. Aliens get out as soon as possible to deflect those links attacking his depots. Here the barracks are gonna get a little bit of a scout, but since the archer has been killed, Prime Time couldn't have done anything too significant. The income is slightly in favor of a green Terran, and this is usually a really bad sign for our Zerg players. Roach Warren is on the way. Probably is gonna try to get a big timing attack as soon as this command center start to get saturated here in this natural base. Third base is going on as well for Prime Time, probably mainly for lava issues. There is probably gonna have a lot of gas in the bank for Primetime. A really good spread of creep once again, while Cyclones and I can never remember how this upgrade is called, but the upgrade for Cyclones is on the way as well. No Bullframe yet, but it's probably going to be the second thing to come after enough of Cyclones and Aliens are out of these factories. Roaches are obviously the good answer, since they can deal some damage, tank some damage from Aliens. And the Evil is actually gonna scout, basically everything he's doing is gonna scout the Tech Club, researching something, and he probably knows what's going on right now. Good economy going on for Primetime, even though his natural and third has been delayed by a long time. This is a pretty scary army as well, but not as scary as Droptimus one. Still no armory to allow those aliens to change mode and become Hellbats. Level is on the way. Roach speed is really important against mech if you decide to go for ranged. And probably 2 Evo Chambers are going to be the next answer. Well, maybe even just one, since Cyclones deal flat damage. Carapace actually doesn't do anything against the Lock-on. The music intensifies while our players get ready for what's gonna be the next fight. Good army over here. Baneley Nest on the way for Primetime as well. So still no watch speed. It just started. As soon as I call Primetime started the rush speed, and he's probably gonna start the centrifugal hooks as soon as his Baneley Nest finishes to get those fast Banes into the Cyclones. Or Hellions as well, Hellbats too. A lot of workers going on from Primetime, and there's a really big economy lead. It's a little bit behind on the gas, but this kind of army doesn't need a lot of gas, to be fair. A good separation on both bases, and actually drones get into those extractors to even up the deal. Droptimus tries to move out. He knows he can't left his opponent unchecked. +1/+1 is almost finished and is just finished, and +2/+2 is on the way, as well as Blue Flame. So, what is gonna try to do? Some buildings have been moved, and Centrifugal Hooks is still on the way, as well as Rush Speed. So these Cyclones can actually deal a lot of damage uncontested. Good split on the Hellbats. This one is a little bit of a worse one, but this army by Droptimus is just a little bit too much, I think. A lot of Banelings actually crash into the Hellbats, leaving the Cyclones alone, and Cyclones can do a lot of things against Zerglings. We can see Droptimus's supply pummeling down. Still a pretty good economy, but not as good as Primetime's one. A 4th base is on the way as well, and his scouts remain and see the infestation pit. Probably is gonna have a hive soon. Oh, well, even better, Infestor Prey by Primetime. A really good counter to this mech army Droptimus is trying to get out of his base. A lot of Zerglings, a lot of Roaches, a lot of Infestors is probably the best answer possible to this type of army composition. More Banelings on the way as well to isolate those Cyclones or even get them. Droptimus wants to move out as well. He's putting up some boys. Well, no way, I actually think he's just gonna try to get his base over here. He can't really move out, knowing Primetime has a lot of workers more, a really good and healthy army supply, and he actually wants to move out here, get a little bit of a scout, get into position to deal some damage to his opponent, while Primetime actually has scouted every movement of Droptimus' army all this time. Here we have a little bit of a scout. He knows there's a third base going on for Droptimus, so he probably knows he's gonna be a little bit ahead in army supply. Well, he probably doesn't know he's that much ahead in army supply, but just diving into this many tanks, cyclones and aliens is not a good idea. 2 tanks on the high ground as well. A really good positioning by Droptimus, and I don't know if actually diving into this is a good idea. A lot of Ravagers. He needs to keep this Overseer alive to get those piles onto this high ground tanks. Overload speed on the way as well to allow the Overseers to actually get the vision on the tanks, to allow the Ravagers to get the piles on them. Blue Flame has finished, +3 on the way, and the Spire as well, but still no Hive in sight. So I actually think, yeah, it's moving out. It's actually moving out. A lot of Banelings just die to these tanks in the high ground, but a lot of Lings on the way as well. The Overseers get killed. Oh, so close. A tank has died in the high ground, and he actually sieges this one, while this Ling actually can just deal a lot of damage. Really good positioning on the Overlords, even though they get actually killed by the Cyclones. He manages to get a Ling on the high ground and bile all over those tanks. So we have our finals. So we're gonna have the finals soon. Give a little bit of time to Primetime and Kuku to prepare for those finals as well. Well, we change server since our finals are gonna get played here on the EU server. Just let me change. Yeah, and sound as well. Why can't I never find Primetime in this server? There's something wrong about it. So we're gonna have another CVT, the third one of the, oh, that's why. So we're going into veto phase, one veto each. This is gonna be a best of 5. So Paul Alexander is the first map out, chosen by Primetime, and Cuckoo is gonna choose the second vetoed map. While I check a little bit for if everything is on point over here. I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. We're almost into finals. Okay, ES0 is out of the question as well. First map is on Primetime, and all the others are losers pick. And Saddle Forest is gonna be a first map, sorry. So actually Primetime wants to start the deal where he has finished it in the previous game versus Droptimus, a really solid performance, to be honest. So I see why he wants to play on Saddle Forest as the first map. So we have two solid players. One is a really offensive one, while the other is a bit of a macro one. And we're ready to get into game one. Our players are eager to get into these finals, and we will see who's actually gonna get the prize home, the bragging rights. Oh, this is taking a little bit of time. Weed. Come on, StarCraft. You can do it. I think we're ready. Yeah, I think we're ready. Or maybe not. Here we are in the first game of this finals, best of 5, Primetime versus Cuckoo. Here, in fact, in the top left corner, we have our green Zerg. His name is Primetime. Instead, in the lower right corner, going for a proxy build, with these SCVs, we have our blue Terran. He is Cuckoo. So 3 SCVs actually on the way to this proxy location, while Primetime actually goes for a little bit of a macro standard build. Who knows we're gonna see here? Probably 3 barracks. Yeah, first one has been dropped over here, second one has been dropped, and as soon as he has the minerals, he's probably gonna get a third one and start to deal a lot of damage to his opponent. That is actually going for a standard opening, and once again he's gonna face a proxy after after holding one in just the previous game versus Droptimus. So this is something that gets your nerves really on, I think. Who wants to get proxied twice in a row in the same map by a Terran? So, no refinery yet for Cuckoo. So I think this is probably gonna be just Marine play and full barracks on the way. Full barracks Marine, a supply depot as well over here to try to keep those barracks safe as possible. Primetime has like 20 seconds, well maybe more, maybe less, like 15 seconds before he actually sees there's no barracks in the Wolof in Cuckoo's base. Actually it's finished, and this drone is actually gonna hide over here to get the third base. A lot of SCVs, a lot of Marine, are on the way over here. So 4 lings and 2 queens. A spine crawler instantly dropped after he sees there's no barracks over here, but I think it's too late. 5 Marines are climbing over here. I don't think he can build a bunker yet. Spine crawler gets cancelled. Good decision making. The queen is gonna go out and he's gonna die basically instantly. Maybe getting a Marine. Oh, he doesn't get a Marine. So close. 2 spine crawlers on the high ground. More Marines are trying to climb over this ramp, and drones get in the way. Queen is doing some job over here, but a lot of drones die. Spine crawler is gonna die as well. Oh, so close by Cuckoo. He's actually gonna just focus on drones, and the spine crawler is so close to get finished, and it doesn't get finished by a millisecond. More and more drones are dying. The 3 SCVs by Cuckoo died as well, and he's actually gonna focus the archery right now, waiting for Primetime to move his spine crawler on the low ground, and now he's gonna focus it. All those Marines on the spine crawler, and now on the queens as well. A lot of damage has been done by Cuckoo. Now they're even on workers as well. But more and more Marines are getting rallied from the proxy location to the natural Primetime that is forced to GG out of the game. What an impressive aggressive strategy by Cuckoo that gets game 1, proving once again why he is our current champion. First map dropped by Primetime. Well, unexpected. Well done by Cuckoo with an impressive game-ending strategy. So Cuckoo has for a couple minutes to think about his strategy in the next match, and Primetime actually has to decide for a second map, and he's gonna choose Kairos Junction. Another short map. We will see what are his intentions. I see Droptimus in the chat getting excited for the avenging of his proxy. So we're just waiting for our champion to get ready to get into game 2 on Kairos Junction. So Kuku is a guy who always prepares in advance for his series, who always has in his mind what he has to do, what are his build orders for the next match. We're going straight into game 2. Once again, our players are really eager to get this done, to play these finals and decide who's gonna be our winner for the next week, our champion. Kairos Junction, well known rush map. Even 12 pool can work on this map for primetime. That prefers to get his macro straight up, and he's going for a drone first. In fact, here we are in the top left corner, our green Zerg. His name is Primetime. Spawning in the bottom right corner of Kairos Junction. Not going for a proxy this time, we have a red Terran. His name is Kuku. Oh, a bit of a lag spike, I don't know why. So really standard over here, Refinery first. And you're gonna have a barracks dropped. Already in the position to get a reactor or a tech lab, who knows. Probably we're gonna see a Reaper first, since he's not actually hiding anything too suspicious. So he doesn't have to get a Marine first to deny the overload vision. Spawning pool on the way for Primetime as well. Really standard by both players. Barracks is almost finished, and the Kuku actually has the gas to get a Reaper. So he's probably gonna get out one as soon as possible and gonna go straight for the command center on the low ground, feeling safe that he has his Reaper on the way. Actually a bunker being built outside of Primetime's base in plain vision of this overload. I don't know, probably just wants to delay some mining time. A little bit of a cheeky strat. Yeah, once again he tries to, just gonna cancel it. 75 out of 100 minerals gonna come back to him. Sorry, I should have drank a little bit more water before this other game. So factory going on as well for Kuku, and he is gonna try to scout for a third base as well, or maybe, who knows. Well, no, he's just gonna scout over here while his Reaper gets into the main base of Primetime, giving a little bit of pressure to his opponent. Primetime can't build his archery yet. He's hiding the drone, but well, Kuku knows he's hiding the drone, I think. He's gonna get a drone, I think. Yeah, he's gonna get the drone, but the Reaper's just gonna get away really fastly. Overload still gets plain vision, while over here, oh, so close to getting a cancel, so close to denying and delaying the third base by Primetime. But actually, really good lane management and drone timing allows our Green Zerg to get his third base going on. So Starport on the way as well for Kuku. Barracks and 2 aliens gonna go out of this factory. And this is gonna be a standard 4 aliens Fallen's pressure, while the Vikings trying to deny some vision, killing those overlords all over the map. This is a little bit of a weak decision. So actually the transition Cuckoo wants to do is Concussive Shells Marauders. They are really good against Roaches, Hydras, Banelings, but not really good against Lings. So what he wants to do over here is probably try to scare Primetime into not making Lings, so that he can actually deal more damage as possible with his Marauders and a Medivac as well. So this is actually gonna be I think a bio play, or maybe even a Marauder drop, who knows. I think the music is a little bit too loud, just lower it a little bit. Yeah, I think it's better that way. So the Vikings, as I said, is gonna deny a lot of vision from Primetime, but his overlord position is actually really good, so he can probably save most of his overlords. Baneling Nest, Lair and 2 Evo Chambers basically dropped at the same time by Primetime, who's waiting for his overlords to come out and start making more and more drones. So Tech Club next to the starport means only Banshee and Cloak. Cookie is all about aggression, it's all about dealing damage. Marauders in a Medivac, and well, actually this is a really good push with Hellbats, Vikings and Marauders, Concussive Shells Marauders, to slow down those screens and allow the Hellbats to get as much damage on as much surface as possible, while these Marauders just get it straight down. Not a lot of army for Primetime going on. He has basically nothing to delay this push, to deny this push. Queens get into position, and I think they are gonna try to hold on over here, while the Medivac actually gets up those Hellbats and drop them into those Queens. Transfuses are over, and Cuckoo probably has done it right now, while some Lings actually try to get some damage, but they're being cleared off. And those Hellbats and Marauders are actually killing a lot of drones. 9 drones die. They're just transferring from one base into the other, while Primetime tries to get as many Banelings as possible, as many Zerglings as possible. But this actually is probably just gonna go down. Some well, the Banshee, the Cloak Banshee going on as well. Novus here for good Baneling hits, and those Zerglings are probably gonna clear out all the Hellbats, and well, this is gonna be really close. This Medivac is doing a lot of good job. Wow, what an amazing performance by Cuckoo that actually almost kills Primetime. 18 more Lings are probably gonna get this over with, while the Spore Clawers are into position to deny as much damage to the Banshee as possible. Another base is on the way for Primetime, but it's really behind on workers, really behind on army as well. I don't know if he can actually do that, since more aliens are actually gonna get into his base. The Medivac is still alive, not a lot of energy, but still it can heal those Marauders and Hellbats back to a good amount. The Overseer is on, so the Banshee is actually not gonna deal damage, it's actually just gonna die. But 2 Queens against this many Hellbats are just not enough. The Spire is on the way, more Lings to hold this off. If he can hold and wait for the Spire to actually finish, I think it could be in a good spot. But 33 workers to 46, 10 more workers have died for Primetime, that has lost already 22 workers in this game. Primetime, I think this is over. A lot of army, a lot of workers for Cuckoo, what Primetime tries to hold into this game, waiting for Respire to come out, while Cuckoo is just getting more Banshees, more ground army. A lot of aliens spread out. The Medivac is safe, really closely as well. And the second the natural is finished for Primetime, there is really close to losing this game. 19 drones died in the, well, actually more, 30 drones had died in the push by Cuckoo, doubling the supply in this moment. But Mutas are gonna go out and he's gonna try to end Cuckoo, deal as much damage as he can with his Mutas, but those are on the way as well. What a good answer by Cuckoo, that knows something is actually going on. Even without scouting the spire, he knows there has to be a reason why his opponent is still in the game and gets these stores out as soon as he can. But probably it probably was his answer anyway. But Mutas are now getting in, but those turrets are already done, and Primetime can probably not deal enough damage to Cuckoo. While at the same time this Banshee cannot probably do anything since the Overseers are there as well. 2 drones died in a while because those 4 aliens are just gonna get into the main base without any way Primetime can actually deny them, since his ground army is almost non-existent. He gets into the sweet spot to deal more damage as possible to those links, and Mutas come back into the base to defend those drones, but 15 workers have died, 18 workers right now alive for Primetime. 18 workers died, and this is a 1-2 punch that it was really deadly by Cuckoo, that really knows how to play this matchup, what strats to do. 3 more tours on the way, and those Mutas are probably not gonna be enough unless he has perfect control and deals so much damage. But he's now in between a missile turret and the fours, and he knows there's no way he can get back into this game, and he taps out. Cuckoo is on match point, leading 2-0 against Primetime. So our third map will be Kingscope. Primetime actually has to win this game to get back into tracks. Okay, so we're going into game 3 of this series. Cuckoo versus Primetime. Primetime is ready, waiting for Cuckoo to do the ready check and get... Yeah, we are ready. We're getting into game 3. Well, Primetime has to win this to get back on track and try to defeat our current champion. King's Cove. A large map, not a short map like the one we saw in the game before, and the game before even. So here we have in the bottom right corner our green Zerg. His name is Primetime. Instead in the top left corner of King's Cove, leading for 2-0, we have our red Terran. His name is Cuckoo. Refinery first, supply depot, nothing too weird coming out this time. Primetime is being macro oriented as always. Well, actually it's being a little bit safer this time, getting an early spawning pool, since he now knows his opponent is a really offensive player, a really aggressive one, and there's some spicy builds to actually try and deal as much damage as possible. Like we have seen in the 2 games before. So it's just a macro build anyway. It's just spawning pool first, archery second, and extractor third. That's what probably is going on with Primetime. Yeah, this is the extractor going on. So just gonna get a faster queen, 2 links fast, 4 links faster, and defend the Reaper better. Defend from some pushes with some more reaction time, getting a faster link speed, or maybe a Roach Warren as well. Yeah, that's probably, yeah, he's gonna get a Roach Warren. He's not gonna get speed probably, since it's not yet getting, well, Google has scouted this perfectly, but I don't think Primetime actually has any problem with Cuckoo scouting. He just wants to go for the Roach push, or maybe a Roach Hydra push, or maybe Roach Lurkers, I don't know, we're gonna see. Well, Lurkers are not good in this matchup, but Cuckoo is actually getting out of a bunker to try and stay as safe as possible, as well as a factory in the meantime, to probably get some Cyclones and some tanks on the high ground. So the bunker is gonna get delayed a little bit, but the Reaper is gonna shoo away those links, and at the same time a really good snipe on the SCV is gonna delay Cuckoo's natural, and Primetime is getting to a sweet spot in this game. Already 5 Roaches on the way, while a Starport and 2 Marines are what Cuckoo is doing right now. Tech Lab on the way for the factory to get the tank out as soon as possible. Primetime knows this, and he has vision on the bunker as well. So the Reaper is just gonna instantly die. A little bit of a supply block for Primetime. That is actually not gonna saturate his natural. He's trying to move out with links and probably some Ravagers as well as Roaches. The tank is on the way, 8 drones to support this push and max out later. And I think that Primetime knows he can't deal a lot of damage right now. Tank is on the way, bunkers are almost, 2 bunkers, 2 Marines each. Tank is gonna get into a sweet spot, and those links actually are gonna try to get the tank, while the Roaches and the Ravagers try to get the bunkers. So, well, the Banshee is completely going to shut down this push. No letter yet out for Primetime as well. So a little bit of a scout on the saturation. He knows there's something going on. The Biles hit both bunkers that are gonna get repaired instantly possible. Actually, this bunker has 2 SCV inside them. Well, repair is on the way. Another bunker. Primetime knows there's no way he can deal damage to that defensive position. And Cook is actually gonna scout his 3rd base. He doesn't know there's no there for Primetime, and no Spokora as well, but actually Banshee can deal a lot of damage but cannot be game ending. So this is just gonna be mostly something that will annoy outside play a little bit. The first Banshee is on his way, is on our way. And Primetime is not gonna see that. Yeah, it's not gonna see that. It's really close, but it's not gonna see that. The Banshee gets into position, more Ravagers are supporting this small push. He sees the Lynx coming out as well. The Roacher is going into his base as well, but he knows he has a good defensive position and no Spore Crawlers in sight over here. A lot of drones are gonna get killed over here. 3 drones. Ooh, what a save over here. A Spore Crawler has been moved right here, and he's gonna finish. Well, probably he's not gonna finish. He's gonna get a cancel. Well, not even a cancel, actually, because Primetime actually wants to end the game right here, right now. He tries to do as much damage as possible, but his Ravager's just gonna go down. A good repair on the tank, while the Banshee actually deals a lot of damage and kills more and more units. Energy finishes, so the Queen can focus the Banshee. He's still ahead on workers, Cuckoo, I mean. But Primetime has actually got really close. He needs to get a Spore Crawler on the way over here, unless he wants to lose the archery. And one drone is gonna die, and probably even the other. While the Spore Crawler actually moves over here. 10 drones died to a single Banshee. 12 kills on this Banshee. 10 drones and 2 Lynx. While another Spore Crawler is just gonna finish, and the Banshee actually can't do anything more over here. 2 Banshees over here are just gonna kill the Ravager and some more Lynx. Primetime is in a bit of a bad spot right now. 38 workers to 36, yes, but not a lot of army, not a lot of ways to react to those Banshees, while at the same time Cuckoo is actually going for a macro-oriented build as well, knowing he has a little bit of an advantage and he doesn't have yet to push into his opponent's base. Since the defensive advantage and a pretty good economy by Primetime could shut down easily tank marine push right now, even because there's no steam pack yet, and +1/+1 is just on its way. Baneling Nest is a good reaction by Primetime that actually is gonna develop into a little bit of a macro game. A lot of workers, probably a 4th base is gonna get on the way really soon, while these Banshees actually want to deal more and more damage. The lair has finished for Primetime, but I see no Overseer actually. Yeah, and the Queen is just gonna die, and Overseer has been moved, and the Banshees are focusing the archery since they cannot actually dive into those Spore Crawlers. Removes the Spore Crawlers, and this one is just gonna get cancelled. Another one is gonna die, and this one is gonna die as well. A lot of resources are being wasted by Primetime that is really taking a lot of damage to these Banshees. First Banshee dies, but 5 workers, 6 workers die, 7 counting the one that died while he was morphing into a Spore Crawler. These Banshees are just gonna hide here and try to deal a little bit more damage to this hatchery, and at the same time a job by Cuckoo is probably gonna focus the main base, see what's going on, and the Queen is actually gonna shoo away those Banshees alongside his Overseer. More Spore Crawlers on the way as well. This drop though. Did he see the space? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Actually, Primetime has a lot of vision on his opponent's army as well. He knows, well, Cuckoo knows there's an Overseer over there as well. And he's just waiting for the right time to move out. A lot of Lynx and a lot of Ravagers though are just gonna deny every damage possible to those Marines that are just gonna fly away into those Medivacs. Banshee's gonna fly away as well, but Cuckoo has ensured himself a really good advantage with 20 workers killed with those Banshees. +1 ranged and +1 Carapace on the way, and Widow Mines is the answer by Cuckoo. Lot of Banelings, a lot of Ravagers, a lot of Lynx. Not a bad army overall. And Cuckoo is actually gonna push out over here, and I don't think he actually has enough. Those two tanks are not gonna go in the right direction. So Primetime now knows there's something going on. While those two Lings are trying to get a little bit of a scout, he's gonna see there are Widow Mines on the way. So he's gonna know how to react, and those Marines in his base are actually going to do a lot of damage. A little bit of an F2 move over here to defend from this push. Wolf, I will say. Medivac almost dies, but almost is not enough. 8 drones died. A lot of drones dying for Primetime. It is on 40 workers right now, while Cuckoo gets away knowing that he forces his opponent to push into tanks and Widow Mines. Since he has such a small economy right now, income is almost 400 minerals less. This is a big army that Cuckoo's gonna prepare for. Widow Mines in position to try and avoid to kill his own Marines, while counter push with Medivacs and Marines on this base is gonna be the answer by Cuckoo, that actually is gonna... Well, the positioning of these Lings and Binlings is actually perfect, but those Binlings are not going to deal a lot of damage. A good split, good focus fire by Cuckoo, and once again a perfect army management by Cuckoo, dealing a lot of damage to his opponent's economy. Is probably gonna make the deal and close this game out. 12 drones, 12 SCVs dying, 13, a lot of SCVs dying over here, 16, but he still is ahead on workers right now, doubling the supply, and Primetime taps out. Clean sweep by Cuckoo that gets the victory 3-0 against a really solid player like Primetime. Well done by our champion. Our young champion that has really showed some great games, some great strategies, really offensive, always out there dealing damage. And we have our champion once again. Cuckoo is gonna be there even next week. Skippy asked to play again next week as well, and I'm eager to see those players facing each other again, creating a little bit of a history between each other, and our champion is just gonna wreck again or really get defeated once and for all after all those really aggressive and strong builds. Look just at the workers killed time after time by Cuckoo, that has kept his opponent on point for the whole duration of the game. So we have a champion, and we just gonna end the stream right now. It has been a really fun tournament, a little bit longer than usual, and well, I'm eager to see what next week will bring us, and especially eager to see what this Sunday is gonna bring us, since we're gonna have the Alpha Screams. BioIce, Uzikoti, Paco Mike and Mamba are gonna play versus each other in a small house cup. It's gonna be really similar to the arena. Instead of our dear master and diamond players, we will have our real dragons, our champions, our pro players, and well, sorry, I think it's Entais, not Mamba, who's gonna play. Well, anyway, it's gonna be great. I can't wait to see them play this Sunday, and I hope you will all be there to see them play with me. So long, chat. It's been a fun ride. I'm waiting for you on Sunday. Have a good one.